Welcome to this Operoo training video all about student logins. If you have any questions at all throughout the video or after the video, you can contact our support team on the top right hand side under help. Clicking on support will show you all the ways that you can contact our support team. Whilst on help, right at the top FAQs, if you click on this, it will take you to our knowledge base where there are hundreds of articles on how to complete certain tasks, such as enabling student logins or student accounts. Also on the bottom right hand side of your account, clicking live chat, this will open up a conversation and you can start a conversation with our support team as well. Lastly, when it comes to help, you can also reach out to your dedicated customer success manager, CSM, if you have any questions, and we will be more than happy to help you with whatever question you have about Operoo. On to student logins, student accounts, they're the same things. What it actually means is enabling a student account so you can communicate with that student directly. So you could send e-forms to that student, or you could send a news article to that student, or send an email directly to that student. It's really important to note that if you are going to enable student logins, the students themselves do not have access to the student profile. So they do not have access to any of the medical information or any of the dietary information that you're asking parents or carers to complete about that student specifically. Also with student accounts, it is not enabled in your account as standard. It's up to an administrator to enable student accounts and it's your choice on who you enable those accounts for. Just looking at my demo account. So for today, we're just going to use my demo account. It's all demo data, but right at the top, there's a couple of purple corners which are over. Just hovering on that purple corner for Charlotte Crunchy, it says that student account has been enabled. So I've previously enabled the student login or student account for Charlotte. On the left-hand side, if we look at Abigail, when there is a white tick inside, it means that the student has logged in and they have activated their account. When it comes to creating student accounts, there are two ways that you can do it. You can do it on an individual student by student basis, or you can also do it on a group basis. If you wanted to do it at an individual student level, I'm going to look at Stephen Sausage Sizzle here, clicking the three lines to open up the profile for the student. On the left-hand side on the menu, I have an option second from the bottom that says Enable Student Account. Clicking that now, are you sure you want to enable this student account? I'm going to click yes. What that does when I open up that profile again, well, firstly, we can see that there's that purple reference in the top right-hand corner of the profile. But also if I open the profile again, what it does is it's created a login for Stephen. So Stephen's login is Bell063, and under the eye icon is the default Operoo password. So when Stephen goes to login, Stephen will need the username as well as that password, and then Stephen will be asked to put in a new password of his choice. When it comes to email addresses, I'm using my demo account as a standalone system, so I don't sync in to say Sims or any other MIS. If you are using the system as a standalone system, clicking the pencil here, I can then put in an email address in this field if I wanted to, and I now have an email address for Stephen. The other way that you can do it, if I just close out of that, under my ad on the top left-hand side, coming down to import student email address. So if you are enabling student accounts and you do want to import student email addresses via a CSV, you can do that as well, simply by clicking on this and following the prompt. So that would be populating that CSV and then uploading that into Operoo against that student profile. If you are using, say, Sims, for example, and you do have a school email address, that email address will then sync over from Sims directly into Operoo, provided that it's in the right category within Sims. And there is a knowledge base on this. So if you have any questions at all, you can go to the knowledge base or again, go to the support team or your CSM. Looking at Stephen now, Stephen's got his student account enabled. If you want to disable student accounts, on a one-by-one basis. It's the opposite of what we did. So clicking the 3 lines to open that profile and then disable student account and then clicking yes. Stephen no longer has a purple tag, and if I open his profile, there is no student account here. So that's how you would activate and deactivate or enable and disable student logins. What you might choose to do is do it on a bulk basis. So if you're a high school or a senior school, you may choose to enable it for a specific year level. If I come over to my groups here on the left-hand side and go to years and expand years, clicking on year 6 will show me all of the students that I have in year 6 in my demo account. So what I can do now, I can select all of those students. You can also select all students by actions and then select displayed students. Once you have your students selected, they are in green. From there, back into your actions menu, advanced actions, and then enable student accounts for selected students. And this way, I can enable my student accounts on a bulk basis, and I'm not doing it individually. Again, to disable the same way, just selecting those students, whoever I'm going to unselect a few. So I'm going to deselect student accounts for 4 students. So back into my actions, advanced actions, and disable student accounts for selected students. There we go. And that just leaves Abigail and Laura with student accounts, and the other 4 students no longer have student accounts. So as a high level, you as a school will then denote who has access in terms of student accounts. You can activate student accounts on an individual student by student basis or as a bulk basis, entirely up to yourself. Email addresses are either populated into Operoo individually via the student profile, via a spreadsheet, a CSV, or potentially via your sync if you're using Operoo with Sims or any other MIS. Few last things just to mention, probably one of the most important ones. Coming into my main settings down here on the bottom left-hand side, you must enable messaging for student forms. If you have created student accounts or student logs, but you have not enabled your messaging for student forms, Operoo will not send out any communication. So we will not send out login details to the student. We will not send out any e-forms. So please make sure you enable your student messaging if you are going to use student forms. And then lastly, once you have your student accounts, when it comes to creating a form for your students, when you go to add a form, you of course would choose add student form, because this time it's going to be a student form that you're going to create. And to view your student forms, you can toggle down here. Here are all of my student forms that I currently have within my account. Or as with all forms, you can access your forms via the form library. So that's the 3rd icon down on the left-hand side. Hopefully that's given you some information on student logins. Please feel free to reach out to anyone at Operoo if you have any questions or if there's anything we can help you with at all. Thank you so much for your time.